there you have it. After basically a year, although in fairness it sat around here quite a while, the 1936 Maytag Model 30 or 31, I believe it's a Model 30, is complete. I think it was a Model 30 gas powered that was converted later on in life with kind of random electric motor that was laying around, as it had homemade brackets and whatnot. Yeah, pumps all installed, lids on. There's a little pump. It's just a standard pond water fountain pump, and the switch works on the handle here. So once it's plugged in, boom, pumps on, pumps off, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think it just looks great, and yeah, I can't wait to show it to its potential customer. I'll let you know how that goes. Well, we pulled the pin early on our camping trip because A, it's cold, and B, we're a little short on supplies. So since I had to work early in the afternoon tomorrow anyway, we just pulled the pin and we're heading home tonight. Evening. That was some kind of camping trip. It's about 11:30 now. We haven't been home for too long. Saturday night. We were supposed to stay overnight, but we pulled the pin early. I do have to work in the afternoon tomorrow anyway, so really all we were going to have time for was to, quick breakfast, pack up and go. So it was kind of doomed from the start, really. We left a little bit late, which is par for the course. Anybody with a job and kids knows that you never leave for camping when you think you're going to. You're always leaving late. No big deal, it's only a 2-hour drive. So we pile into the car, myself and the two executive team ladies, and off we go 2 hours northwest of home. And we finally arrive, and the lady at the check-in says, "I don't have anybody by that name." And of course the signal's really poor. I finally managed to get a hold of Laura, and she sends me the reservation, and it finally comes through. And it's for Franchier Bay, which is 2 hours northeast of Edmonton. So to go from one to the other was nearly 3 hours, about 2 hours and 40 minutes. So that wasn't an option. Of course, it's too late to cancel Franchier Bay. We're paying for that anyway. But luckily at Cross Lake Provincial Park, they were able to get us in for a couple nights. There's only one site to choose from, but that's fine. Actually pretty nice campground. It was a little loud. A lot of Alberta rig rockets making their presence known at 11 o'clock Saturday night with their ability to do burnouts on gravel, which was followed by a string of kind of deserved expletives from the neighbor across the road from me. So not very peaceful. It did settle down on Sunday once everyone had cleared out. So we finally arrive. And we get out, and it's cold. It's 12, 13 degrees maybe. And the girls informed me that, oops, we both forgot our coats. So they were pretty cold the whole time, and cold at night. And, luckily the trailer has a furnace and whatnot, but it's loud, so you kind of just snuggle in bed and you don't really want to do anything. So between kind of the lack of supplies and the cold and everything else, we just kind of took a vote this evening just after supper and decided to pack it in and head back. Here we are now. That was a pretty expensive one night of camping because we paid for 2 nights at 2 campsites. Oh well, such is life. We're back home now, and I'm looking forward to a nice warm sleep tonight. Cheers. there, so our problem's going to be in here. A little bit of crud in there. That is certainly not helping our cause, all this junk in here. Where did all this come from? Wow. You can see this in there. It's not very pretty. I'm really surprised by this. I did go through this carb and everything before, and it was pretty clean. Must be some junk in that fuel tank. I can't say that's the problem, but it's certainly a problem. That O-ring is toast. So I think we're going to give this a nice clean up, and still not convinced about this primer bulb. I might have one laying around, and clean this up. Put a new O-ring in this jet here, and give it a clean up, and I think it should be okay. When Rob had called and mentioned that the primer bulb had failed, I went out and popped this guy out of one of the other mowers. It's really stiff, so I don't know if it's going to be okay, but I immediately noticed that this one he put in there got a hole in it, and this one does not. I don't really know if that's making all the difference in the world, but it's certainly possible. So I think I need to find a new primer bulb that doesn't have a hole in it.